Welcome to With the Song, Season 5, Episode 32, where we watch The Masked Dancer, Season 1, Episode 1. I'm Chris Lorenz.
No singer.
This is Brian.
Robert Kitts.
Maxley Tisdale.
Well, if this is your first time joining us, we watch a different reality show each week, critiquing, minutiaing, ranking, just going over it all. And Rob, what show do we watch this week?
The Masked Dancer will feature celebrity contestants shaking their tail feathers while covered from head to toe in elaborate costumes and face masks, leaving audiences to guess their identities. Costume celebrities will be joined on stage by masked partners and backup dancers as they perform a series of dances together. Spanning from hip-hop to salsa, jazz to tap dancing, when it comes to dance styles, the sky is the limit. Each week, a series of clues will be sprinkled throughout the packages, costumes, routines, leading the panelists one step closer to figuring out which famous faces are freestyling behind the masks. That's The Masked Dancer on Fox.
Okay, thank you. So if you're gonna watch this, which I would not recommend, we're gonna spoil the first episode because I won. I won the episode. Everyone, thank you.
You
I
won it?
I won. Yes,
Ooh.
that's correct.
What does it mean to win the episode?
I correctly predicted the winner or the person that was getting kicked off, who the actor was, character, person. So I win.
Did you
I mean, I think Chris gets a partial credit. I don't know if he gets the full
Yeah,
credit.
who
but-
else gets any credit? So I win.
I mean, should we just start with the story?
Chris wins.
So we didn't even see this person dance, but someone's costume is the Ice Cube. And I said, what if the Ice Cube is Ice Cube? And Chris started saying it can't be him. He's been on SVU too long. And I'm like, that's not Ice Cube, that's Ice-T. And then it turned out Ice-T was the person unmasked.
I'm well aware that this doesn't really count, but I have the most. I get 0.001 credit, and everyone else gets 0 credit.
If not for Chris, our enjoyment of Ice-T being revealed would have been 1,000 times less. So that, I 100% stand by that statement.
All right. Let's take a step back. Go over the episode. So we see 5 people in costumes dance. They each have their own segment. So each segment has a clue package video where there's like just a stupid video with a bunch of clues in it. And then they dance to a particular song. Then, Brian, what do they do next?
Word up game.
What is
Word
the-
up. They play
Oh.
the corn song Word Up. And everybody dances to it stupidly.
And then they say a single word in their real voice. And so there's 5 of them. That's the whole show. And then somebody gets kicked off based on the quote unquote audience, which we will certainly be talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So let's first talk about the 4 judges, because we got to talk about these people.
I
Yeah.
definitely have some hot takes.
Let's talk about these people.
So we got Paul Abdul, carryover from The Masked Singer.
Not really.
She not on The Masked Singer?
She was on this show called American Idol, Chris.
I
I don't
thought
know
she
if you've
was
heard
on
of
like X Factor forever ago.
it. Was
I
she on
thought-
X Factor too?
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought she was a judge on The Masked Singer. I'm not.
There is a judge from The Masked Singer on the show, but it's not Paula Abdul.
Yeah, it's Ken Jeong.
Ken Jeong. The Jeong verse is
Rob,
growing
what is
strong.
what's your hot take on Ken Jeong?
He sucks. Is that a hot take?
I don't know.
That's the right answer.
I mean, he's not good on the show, but that doesn't mean he sucks in general.
I mean, I think on The Masked Singer, well, there's 2 judges that are okay. There's a good judge, an okay judge, and 2 bad judges. And he's one of the bad judges. And then we watched the other Masked Singer universe show, I Can Hear Your Voice, where he was the host, and that was terrible, and he wasn't good in it. So
Yeah, but he was good in the Hangover movies.
there have been good things in his career. His his masked verse performances leave something to be desired.
Agree.
What do you think his best guess was in this?
Of all the guesses he did today,
Yeah, I don't know.
well,
No one
actually,
knows.
I actually have an answer to this if you want.
Okay.
So, Ken Jeong's shtick on The Masked Singer is all his guesses are terrible, except he's actually really good at guessing the athletes. And he guessed one of the dancers was Venus Williams, and so I made note of that because he's actually pretty good with athlete guesses. So I was like, oh, could it actually be Venus Williams? But
All right, so then we've got Brian Austin Green. Can somebody tell me who is
Yes.
Brian Austin Green?
I can tell you who this guy is. They needed somebody who looked kind of like Joel McHale, so they got this guy.
so Brian Austin Green has a Masked Singer connection. He was one of the Masked Singers the most recent season and got unmasked.
Oh.
But he
Like
has to
his-
be famous before you could be on The Masked Singer.
Yeah, he was from 90210.
The OG?
The
No,
OG.
yeah, he's an OG Beverly Hiller.
Okay. all
There's
right.
something else he's famous for. He is Megan Fox's ex-husband.
Oh.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There's a big age gap there.
Oh yeah.
Good for him.
So then we got he's a nothing burger. I think he's in this whole episode like a total of like a minute.
I've
Like,
definitely
he
seen his face way too many times. This is a reaction shot.
Nah.
Well, we get to, like, the thing with the Masked Singer judges is two of them are actually singers and actually bring like, okay, I was hearing this in the voice, and they actually seem like they're doing something. And then, plenty of reasons to hate her, but what's her name? Max, who do we hate on the Masked Singer?
Kind of everyone.
All right.
It's the vaccine anti-vaxxer.
Yeah.
Jenny McCarthy.
Jenny McCarthy.
Jenny McCarthy. Thank you, Noah.
Yeah.
Jenny McCarthy just like is like in all these celebrity circles, so she definitely like knows a lot of people. Like everyone unmasks and is like, Jenny, I saw you at this thing and like stuff. So they're bringing some to the table, and then Ken Jeong, in theory, is bringing the comedy. I don't know what they were thinking with the judges for this. Like Ken Jeong is just because every mass show needs Ken Jeong, but like. Are the like Paul Abdul, I guess, was a dancer and a singer, so she knows dancing, but like she's not analyzing their dance moves to figure out who these people are. Like I really don't understand what they were going for with this group of people.
'Cause
She was-
that just doesn't
Yeah,
exist. Like
it's
what
all
is
like
Go ahead, Noah.
yeah, it's all random hot takes, right? There is no insight. It's just them shooting the shit on the couch.
I just don't think that there's any like real analysis to do here. There's no like, oh, I've seen Ice-T dance. Like,
Yeah, there is
well,
no
like,
way.
Like what? Like you could say like, oh, that guy's old and can't dance. Well, that eliminates what 30, like how many millions of people? But still, you have like 40 million people that could be. Like I don't know, so many people. Just an old person that can't dance.
If anything, this show makes me appreciate the Masked Singer more because, like, during the performance, you can try and guess at who they are, but this one, the performance doesn't matter at all. It's all about sort of the clue videos. Also, the one word from them never means anything.
I don't agree.
I mean,
with that statement at all.
yeah.
I think that we like there's not a whole lot you can glean from the performance. You're right, Max, but like we knew his old man in this one. Somebody with that was athletic, I guess, in some of them. Somebody knew how to dance. That doesn't really mean anything. But
Doesn't really narrow it down. Like
a little bit.
okay,
But,
this
like
is an old man. That's like
I
10%
mean,
of the world's population.
I think like the thing is that on the Masked Singer, you have these different. You have the clue package and you have the performance, but like you can figure out things from the performance, just like, oh, this clearly seems like they're an old man, or this clearly seems like someone who kind of like moves like an athlete and stuff. But then you also have the vocal performance to try to figure
Oh,
stuff out from.
I agree. You're
So-
right. Like
I
you
think,
don't
like-
get nearly as much information.
I think Max's point is still valid. Of one of the both main pieces of information, if you're into the mystery part of it, and also the most entertaining part of the show is not in the show, without really adding anything new to make up for it. Unless you really like hearing that drop from Korn 5 times.
But you get to actually hear always good singing. Think about that.
But the bad singing is sometimes fun.
I was just you get to hear the real music here. Should we get back to this other host that no one knows who they are? Ashley Tisdale? Yeah.
Noah, who is this person?
She's a musician, right?
She's in
Like,
High
she had a few
School
pop
Musical 1 through 7.
Oh.
Is she in the TV show too?
Oh, so
I
that's
don't.
pretty major.
I'm not up on my High School Musical lore, Chris.
Didn't we do? Wasn't the thing we did High School Musical the music? Wasn't there High School Musical the musical or
It
something?
was on Disney Plus, and I was not there for that episode.
She's been in over 100 advertisements and was on a Disney Channel show, The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. So basically, like, she was pretty famous just for people younger than us.
I mean, that's fine. I think you pull in some C-lister for the Masked Singer, and then you have them host this, but have them bring something. Like, these hosts bring nothing. There's nothing to talk about. There's just like hot takes and nothing. Like, it's rough. It's a rough ride.
Do you think there's any host that could bring something?
Funny people.
So just comedians, like,
Yeah, they should get rid of the 4 people and just bring in 4 people from SNL every week, and they can just riff. And that would be funny.
Like, we brought up Joel McHale. Joel McHale is guest judged in The Masked Singer and was pretty funny. So I feel like Joel McHale would help. JB Smoove, I don't know if you guys know who JB Smoove is, but he was a guest judge a few times and he was pretty funny. So I feel like that, but I agree, like, since there's no way to really analyze, the move is to bring in people that are actually funny and just have them be funny.
I mean, I question that. I do wonder if, like, I don't know the word, a danceologist, somebody who knows their shit, might be able to get some good signal out of it.
If such a thing exists, that would actually be the best thing.
like a choreographer.
Yeah. Or,
There's a way to be like, look at the way he's shaking his hips. That's Ice-T. Like, that guy has to be on the show, or that woman has to be on the show. But
Yeah.
What if
I
you
don't
just
think
fake
you
it?
could figure out that was Ice-T from his dance moves, or I should say his lack of dance moves.
Ken Jeong should just be doing that. He's just faking this whole thing. Like, oh, those hips. Look at how those hips move. I've seen that in American Beauty. That's what's her face? Like, just
Yeah.
like pull in random dancing.
Are you saying you can write better jokes than
technically
Ken
that should
Jeong?
be Paula,
No.
the Who?
Let's get Chris Lorenz as a judge on The Masked Dancer. I think that would improve things.
What about Adam
Yeah.
Sandler? Like, or Will Smith? You know, the people that really are going to be on this show. Another thing the hosts
Yeah, that was-
love to do
That's
is
the other-
guess A-list celebrities like they're gonna be on this show.
Yeah, like
It's just
that
terrible.
was painful. Yeah, I took down some of the really good guesses: Joe Jonas, Zac Efron, Ariana Grande. Like, they ain't coming on this shit.
I don't know. I feel like Jonas Brothers were in that random housewife show we watched.
No,
You
that
could
was
be on
before their comeback, Chris. They're back now.
Oh, they're back now?
They're back. One of them's married to Sansa. Like, they're too big for this now.
Too big? I don't know.
Yeah,
one of them's married to
definitely
like this
too big.
really big Indian star.
that's also true.
Yeah, like, and then one of them is just like killing it, and he's like, "I have money, I'm getting out of the limelight, enjoying all this," and he's doing.
One
it
of them
right.
is building houses in New Jersey.
Not anymore. They're back on tour, Max.
Max guessed Anthony Hopkins at one point. I'm sorry. That was highlight, I think.
strong guess.
What if it
But
was?
yeah. You guys are saying like a dance judge, like Paula Abdul is a very good dancer, right? Like, she's older
Yeah.
now, but like that is definitely her claim to fame in addition to singing.
I mean, I feel at this point her claim to fame is she was a judge in American Idol for a decade, and so she is qualified to judge this show because she is in the Fox judging of reality shows Hall of Fame. I don't think she can analyze dance moves and tell us who Ice-T is. Like, I don't think that's something she can do.
I don't think there's
Definitely
anything
Ice-
anybody can do.
I think she's
definitely not
fine.
Ice-T, but she knows enough about dancing where she could say roughly how like in shape you need to be to pull that off with like an expert opinion.
Okay.
I have a hot take for you, Rob. I don't
Yeah.
think anyone in this show is a dancer. So there's nothing to analyze because they're all just like 1 week dance people. Like they don't know anything.
I bet there's like 2 people that are like known for dancing.
Yeah. I mean, like there was
Like
one
there'll be
person-
some like ballerina or like Broadway star who's actually a good dancer. And like they'll guess it's Neil Patrick Harris, but it will actually be someone we never heard
Yeah,
of.
yeah,
And you know,
Neil Patrick Harris. There's definitely who do they say? Not the disco ball. Was it
Tulip,
the exotic bird? Was
Yeah.
a real dancer? I think they said.
Charlie D'Amelio from TikTok.
Chris, do you want to go to your TikTok rant?
All right, let's go. Let's talk about Craig Robinson for a second here.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk about Craig Robinson.
So he is the other. He's a
Well,
host.
he's the host. The others are
The other people
judges.
are the
He's the
judges.
host.
Whatever. Like, he was kind of nothing burger. He didn't really provide anything.
I think he was
really.
worse than Nothing Burger. I think he was actively bad.
You think so?
He was making all these puns. It's like, Craig, this is so beneath you.
I mean, it's beneath Craig, but like,
Do we need to be
Craig-
worried about Craig Robinson's career? I was not worried about his career before tonight, and now I'm like, is he actually like in trouble? Like, I don't know.
what, Craig Robinson hasn't really been doing a whole much of anything.
I should pull up
Noah,
his
can you,
IMDb.
you look up? Somebody do the internet corner.
Yeah, I mean,
for us.
he gets like some movies here and there, but I think this is similar to Ken Jeong getting the singing show, where is it a step up because it's his show?
Well, should we go to our favorite question? Is this the apex downgrade for the host?
100% downgrade. Like, there's no question. This is the bottom of the bottom for Craig Robinson. I feel
He was like a semi-lead in a sitcom last year called Ghosted or something.
He was a
So-
lead in this movie called Hot Tub Time Machine.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I was like, I know he's in a movie, but that I really like, but I
Oh
couldn't
yeah,
remember.
there
what
was a
it
TV show called Ghosted in 2018.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's definitely a downgrade, but I don't know like what he's been doing. He's been like
He was in season 2 of Mr. Robot,
I don't remember him.
and he was in a TV show called Mr. Robinson. He hasn't been doing a whole lot.
Yeah, so like he's just taking some work.
He's been like his 2020 IMDb credits. He is like 10 credits or so for different things. Like this is pretty decent.
All right,
But like, since what thing has he been in that people have actually seen since This Is the End in 2013?
The
I've s-
Quibi home movie, The Princess Bride. He was in that.
Excuse
You
me?
said the magic
What?
words, Noah. Nobody saw that.
Okay, they remade The Princess Bride?
Yeah, they did like a weird shot-for-shot thing on Quibi.
What the fuck?
Maybe he's gone, Max. You missed your chance. You'll never see it. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
God, I hope that content comes out somewhere.
Max's face right now. I'm sorry for the audio
I am
listeners.
dumbfounded.
Should Max's face right now be the screenshot on the podcast?
So to be fair, it wasn't a shot-for-shot thing. It was kind of like this reimagining with a shit ton of celebrities. It was mildly entertaining.
I saw him on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. He had a couple of cameos.
Of course, there are a ton of celebrities, Noah. It's Squeeby. That was the whole brand.
I can't imagine that movie without Mandy Patinkin.
All right, let's get back to Craig Robinson here.
No, this is a Princess Bride podcast now. This is a Mandy Patinkin podcast. now.
Max, do not pull us back into Quibi. We cannot be talking about Quibis on this podcast.
Rob,
we got to
what's
move
your
on.
favorite season of Homeland starring Mandy?
Season 1. Saul's the best.
Good choice.
Nope.
All right.
All right,
So Craig
quick
Robinson.
tangent. All right, we got to keep the net going. my mom just started watching Homeland, and she's like, "There's no one likable on that show." I'm like, "No, Saul's the best. That's the
Yeah.
character you
Saul's
like."
the best.
Everyone likes Saul.
Okay, all right, we're getting back to this. Okay, let's talk about our first performance, guys. You guys ready? Very exciting. We get to see the Hammerhead. He danced to Everybody by Backstreet Boys. You don't want to hear me sing.
Kind of do.
It would probably be better than the show, Chris, if you just sang.
Rob, what was your guess for the Hammerhead?
Who was my guess for the Hammerhead? I don't know. I don't even have a guess for the Hammerhead.
I don't think anyone really had a guess for Hammerhead.
I've already blocked out the Hammerhead.
Yeah, this is the show right now.
The
Nothing.
Ice-T thing really, like, I was not expecting that, and it really ended the show on a high, and I've blocked out most of the rest of the show.
Already? We just watched it.
Yeah, the Hammerhead. This was the one saying like they were famous too young, and then they kind of had a fall and they had to like find themselves again, and that's what their journey is on, like kind of getting back to being a kid, basically.
Oh, okay. So maybe it's.
I thought that was the
Toy
Tool.
Story.
Is it Macaulay Culkin?
It was definitely something like that, right? Macaulay Culkin, Danny Badaducci, like one of these child stars, right?
Rob, where's your? This was a question I was going to ask you. Is where is your mass dancer / singer notebook to keep all your notes so you know who to guess?
It's a good question.
We know you were a mass singer fanatic.
Well, I didn't have my Masked Singer watching partner. Usually I'm discussing with Emmy, and like, you know, plenty of people I don't know. She knows. We have good range from the two of us. So
Is she downstairs watching it now without you?
no, so I could be on this podcast watching this. She's putting her daughter to bed. So
Well, it's 9:00. I feel like your daughter.
I mean, she's
should
probably
already-
in bed by now, but like that's what she was doing while we were watching the show.
No, I got that. All right. So Hammerhead. I don't know. We don't know who it is. We don't know what the host said. Doesn't matter. Let's go to the Tulip. The Tulip sang to or danced to Fergalicious by Fergie, and she was a Tulip. That's
So
all.
interesting.
That's all I have to say about Tulip.
Well, Tulip, there were a lot of guesses and clues that it was a TikTok star, and that really, like, how are we supposed to guess who TikTok stars are? Like,
Maybe we're not the target audience for this.
Yeah, they're very famous. Like they are.
No
like,
one knows who
Charlie
they are.
D'Amelio is huge. You
Right.
know,
but
No one
no
knows.
one who knows TikTok stars is watching the show. Like, this is the thing, Max. Like, the target, I am the target audience. Parents watching dumb Fox reality shows. Like, this is the target audience. So it should be people I can guess.
But maybe the target audience is also 7-year-olds.
No. So-
You mean seven? You mean to tell me 7-year-olds don't care about Smokey Robinson?
That's a deep
I was
cut.
about to say,
Deep cut.
all the-
Deep cut.
All the
Happy
jokes are really bad, and they could be for like kids, though.
Happy
Oh.
Chanukah for everyone out there.
that's definitely the downside of the show. Like they're trying to appeal to the nuclear family.
I mean, it's a 4-quadrant
Right.
show for sure.
Oh, for sure.
They're trying to be a 4-quadrant
Yeah.
show, and they're failing miserably.
Yeah, not it's hard. They're not doing it. Well.
All right, let's go to our next performer. We've got the Cricket, who danced to "Jump," quotes or parentheses, "For My Love" by the Pointer Sisters. The famous Pointer Sisters that everyone knows who they are.
Mm-hmm.
It's a famous song that you should know.
I've heard it before.
Rob, who was your guess?
So I actually had a weird guess from the clue package that I saw the Indianapolis Colts logo with the number 12. And that was number 12 was worn by Andrew Luck, who retired as their quarterback 2 years ago. So he's available. He's not doing anything. And the Cricket was kind of tall, and I'm like, "Oh my god, this is actually Andrew Luck." But it's probably not. But that was my
Oh,
that's now
okay.
in my head. I can't get that out of my head.
So you won't be able to guess anything else for the rest of, like, as you keep watching the show.
That's not a bad guess.
Correct. I can guarantee you every other minute of the show I watch will not change my guess of who the Cricket is.
Rob's face can be in the show description too. We got to be recording the video. Our next contestant, we have the Disco Ball, aka Ice-T. He danced to Uptown Funk by Bruno Mars.
Correction. He insert like air quotes here danced and to Uptown Funk.
He shook his legs a little bit. I think that's what you'd say. He shook his legs a little bit to the song.
There's no way that Ice-T is this bad of a dancer, right?
He didn't want to be on the show, I'm sure.
Doesn't seem like it. Like, he was on this little stage, and then he needed the backup dancers to hold his arms as he walked down the steps off the little stage to the main stage. It's like, is Ice-T actually like got some like knee problems and can't walk? Like, what's
I don't think so, man.
I'm sure on SVU he's still running and catching the criminals.
I mean, I've never seen an episode of. What if he doesn't? What if he doesn't run? What if this is actually like an in joke? Like every scene with Ice-T, he's like behind a desk and like you don't see him move ever. Like because they're working. It's like when the actresses are pregnant and they have to film around their stomach. It's like they have to film around the fact that Ice-T can barely move. Like, and this is the thing. Like, I don't know.
It's similar to pregnant women; they can barely move.
Not that they can barely move. It's a different problem if you're filming a show.
I know.
Like in season 2 of Homeland.
Have we ever watched the Ice-T reality show?
We have not.
No.
We could do it.
We have to turn to
Is it
Ice-T
Ice-T month?
Might be.
Okay, but really, so one of the things about this costume was that like the face looked exactly like the Pringles face. I really hope that he was just like holding a Pringles can as he got the phone call, like you're on this show, and that was it. That's his costume.
I mean,
that
might be the screenshot.
I was actually imagining you lift off the face and it's just the cartoon Pringles logo is the face underneath.
It's actually the
Pringles
Pringles
the
guy.
guy from Pringles.
It's the Pringles man. There was some recent Twitter thing about how somebody tweeted at them to show them they wanted the Pringles guy, like what he looked like, and they made a Pringles mascot for some Twitter thing. We'll have to look it up. You have to look it up.
We should mention that someone guessed that this guy was Smokey Robinson, which is how Smokey Robinson originally came up.
And then we watched the recent Twitter Chanukah. Happy Chanukah.
Chanukah, Chris.
Chanukah.
Chanukah.
Chanukah, whatever Chanukah is, have a happy one.
All right, let's get to our last contestant. We have the Exotic Bird, who danced to Con Calma by Daddy Yankee and Katy Perry.
Interesting about the Exotic Bird. Kind of interesting performance.
Oh yeah, this one was actually like fun to watch at least.
Watchable.
Shocking.
Shockingly
I
watchable.
like that they didn't choose like the parrot or the cockatoo. They just went with the exotic bird. They just completely got rid of an entire category of animals.
No, there can be a parrot next time. Don't worry about that.
It
All
doesn't
right,
make sense in the like larger cinematic universe.
Rob, who do you think the Exotic Bird was?
So I'm going to give out 2 guesses other people put. So Max was mostly making joke guesses in the chat, put Mia Hamm. I think Mia Hamm is actually a reasonable guess for this. And as I mentioned before, Ken Jeong guessed Venus Williams. And Ken Jeong's actually good with the athletes, including times where I was sure, like, he throws this weird athlete, and I'm like, there's no way who is this person? And then it turned out to be right on the Masked Singer. So I put my faith in Ken Jeong's athlete guesses.
Wait, he didn't guess Andrew Luck, though.
He didn't. That's it. So that's an argument against Andrew Luck, because if it was Andrew Luck, Ken Jeong probably would have sniffed it out.
All right,
Yeah,
we got.
Venus Williams. I thought was a very good guess.
We have to talk about the elephant in the room now, because the show is filmed during quarantine.
Oh, yes.
But there is a quote unquote audience that they show all the fucking time. And it like is so jarring. It's so bad. It's so obvious there is no audience. It like is actively pissing me off.
I'm so glad you got to experience this, Chris,
Was
because
that-
I've watched the whole season 4 of The Masked Singer, and it's exactly the same.
Couldn't
and it's
handle
so weird.
Couldn't handle it.
Just
Like-
be in an empty stadium. Like, the NFL's doing it. Other, Masked Singer can do it. It's so weird how they're doing it.
It's
So what is going on here? Are they splicing cuts of audience with
Cor-
other recorded dances?
so. I'm assuming these are Mass Singer performances before quarantine that they have these shots for, and then they just keep reusing them. I literally saw the same shot in the same episode multiple times. Like, in what world is the production? Is that okay? Like, what? And then you go through this whole thing, and then they still pretending that the audience picks who gets kicked off. Like, in what world? What?
Yeah,
This is a travesty to any reality show, and that's saying a whole lot. We've seen Celebrity Apprentice. This is a disaster.
so to be clear what's going on. So they're filming the show on an empty stage, like in an empty place. Like, so the people on the stage, the judges are there, and everything else is empty. Then they're doing a combination of, they have these wide shots and they're doing some kind of CGI thing to make it seem like there's a crowd around it. But then they have cutaway reaction shots, and it's clips from previous seasons of The Masked Singer of people reacting to things, and they just put them in, and they're it's so weird. Like Chris is right. Like, and it's then they say, "Oh yeah, our studio audience here is helping decide who goes home." There's nobody there, but then they very subtly refer to super fans at home, and I think there's some people who will get to watch this early on Zoom and be part of the thing, but it's so weird.
No, you want to hope on that. There's no one watching this. It's just the producers. They know the order. They pick it. They like, you just film at that.
I mean, we were
just
always
get over it.
suspicious with The Masked Singer that it was actually just the producers picking it anyway, and now it's just even more blatant.
Oh yeah, we said that in our first pod. So like,
Yeah. And Chris, you were like, I bet the person on Masked is someone we never heard of. I'm like, no, the producers made sure whoever gets kicked off the first week is someone we've heard
you
of.
were right. You were right. I was wrong. The other thing, also with the same aspect, is the judges are 6 feet apart. Like, the judges aren't next to each other. Like,
Yeah.
it's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. Like, sometimes you watch a show and you're like, man, that's produced so well. Like, you rewatch some things on MTV, like they're like crackpots out there. They're so good. And then you just watch this and you're like, it looks like it's produced super well, but the decisions at the top level are the most asinine, retarded things I've ever heard. This fake audience, the fake laugh track, like, what? Like, not only is there the fake audience, they make the fake audience laugh, and they show them laughing, and they show them like clapping their hands, and it's just like, I know they're not there.
Like, if
And
you're
it-
going to do a fake audience, and you got to have a laugh track. Like, it's that part feels like a logical conclusion, but I agree that this is just the wrong way to play it. Like, it's so weird.
I mean, yeah.
But I'm glad you got to experience this, Chris. I went through a whole season of this and
I
never
know, I asked you
stopped
about
thinking
it.
it was weird.
This
I-
is fascinating to me.
I asked you about it
Yeah.
one recap a while ago, because I was like, what do you mean they have an audience? Like, because they don't have an audience.
So I've been trying to go deep in the corner. Like, yeah. So you're nailing exactly what they did. The executive producer Craig Plestis, in an interview, said, "Yeah, creative editing. You'll see a lot of differences this season too with the virtual reality stuff with the animation, with adding America's votes. Since you couldn't have a full audience of 300 people, though we're utilizing some audience footage from past seasons to get that audience feel."
You know, I had to Google this after I watched the first episode of The Masked Singer season 4, because I was like, what the hell's going on? It's so weird. Because, like, you watch it, you're like, wait, did they actually bring in an audience? How is that possible? Like, and because it seemed so bizarre, but then it didn't seem real either. And so I had to Google to figure out what was going on. And it's so strange that they didn't just, like, own it.
It is shocking. Like, going into the corner, like our favorite topic, the production schedule. Looks like they taped this like starting in October, so they moved super quick on pumping this out, which is good for them.
Let's get to it now. Let's get to questions, production schedule. Let's talk about it. I think you filmed this in like under a week. Like, it doesn't take a whole lot.
Well, the question is, did they have to film it over a couple spread out days because they have to work around different schedules to get schedules to line up? Or did they bang out all 8 episodes in a day?
I think the limiting factor here actually might be setting up the dance routines, because you can't just like, oh well, it's only 3-minute segment, so like let's just bang it, bang, bang, bang. But then it's just like, well, you need good dance routines, so you can't just like.
And you need some rehearsal time. Like that's the other thing with the show is like they do come up with some kind of choreography. Like maybe Ice-T didn't rehearse, but like
he was there like an hour.
The Exotic Bird came up with some choreography and had to practice that and stuff. So there is time put in for that as well.
I mean, they're gonna need a day of practice for each performance, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
So
I think it takes a lot longer than I thought it would.
So, but I think you bring a point. So very clearly, the producers are choosing who wins, right? If that's the case, is this all scripted out? Do you think they know? Have they chosen who already wins, or do they actually take it like who do they like best in showing up for each performance?
I mean, so they started filming in October. Are they done filming? Because if they're done filming, then clearly it's all scripted.
They're definitely done filming.
But if it's
guarantee they're done filming.
It's not done filming, then they could take in feedback from people the first couple episodes and be like, okay, well, this person seems to be doing well, we'll make them win. But
we answered this question with Masked Singer season 3, Chris, when we're like, what happens with the fact that the quarantine started like 2 weeks into the season and the whole season finished like normal, which meant it was already in the can when the quarantine started.
There you go. So it's all producers, Noah. There's no audience, Noah. There is no audience. The only people to pick are the producers.
No, it's Ken Jeong, Chris. They really value his opinion and input on who should go home.
He might be an executive producer for all I know.
I mean, he probably is.
Probably is. Well, you guys know this started from Ellen DeGeneres.
No, it was a Korean show.
No. So
yeah, it was.
Well,
you go in the internet corner.
The internet keeps saying how this was a recurring segment on the Ellen Show, and it spun off into what we see today.
Excuse me?
No.
So Noah, are you saying it started on Ellen and then went to Korea and then came back?
I'm going back into the corner, but it definitely was a segment on the Ellen Show.
So here's what I'm gonna say: it was a show in Korea that Ellen's producers made a segment on the Ellen Show, and then they just decided to make a whole American version of the show.
Yeah,
that's the order of operations.
Noah, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. I can't.
Can you guys find the Korean show? Because
a famous person who you would know was unmasked on the Korean version, and the Koreans in the audience lose their damn mind. It's so great.
That's cool.
Singer in Korea.
Yeah, no, you guys are right. Yeah.
Is it based in Wikipedia? It says it's based on South Korean television series King of Masked Singer. So, it might be on the Ellen Show for all I know.
Was there a dancing version in Korea, or is this just Fox?
I don't know. Someone will have to look that up. It could have been, on the Ellen Show, and then like you go on Good Morning America and you pretend like Ellen made this up, just like everyone makes it seem like they came up with the thing, which they didn't come up with, right?
I mean, the way the Wikipedia article is structured, it is very buried that this was from Korea, and it makes it seem that this came from the Ellen Show.
It's the first line in conception and development.
No, I think you should edit that Wikipedia article and write some wrongs here.
Where do you see conception? Anyway, I'll pick. Yeah, whatever.
I don't know anything about the Masked Dancer though. That could have been an Ellen original.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The Masked Dancer. I'm not talking about the Masked Singer.
I don't know anything about the Masked Dancer.
You watched one episode. You've seen every episode of the Masked Dancer, Chris. You know a lot about it.
Oh yeah, I'm talking like I'm a pro. You're right. This could have been an Ellen thing. I don't know.
This whole time, to clarify,
you've been talking about the Masked Dancer.
Correct.
Here's how the Masked Dancer started, Noah. There was this show called The Masked Singer.
Like literally, no. You could have read the whole line to us. The show began as a recurring segment on Ellen, which spoofed the Masked Singer. Like, can you just you didn't finish the line. So it's a spoof that they turn into the real show.
Okay. Proposal. Nobody gives a shit, and we should move on.
Seconded.
Whoa.
Okay, so we went through all of the performances, got through Exotic Bird, Ice-T was revealed.
Yeah, we're on to
That's the
the
show.
question. We're on the questions now.
Oh yeah,
Let's go,
would
Chris.
it still be better if everyone were naked?
Do they still have the masks?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think it would be.
Couldn't be
I wouldn't be
worse.
shocked if this is on Pornhub already.
Would the show be better as a Quibi? I think in this case, yes.
I don't think the show would be any better no matter the length of the show.
I guess if it was a Quibi, there'd be better celebrities.
You think so?
That's true.
Quibi, the only thing that matters to Quibi is to have celebrities.
That's fair. They'll pay the money. They pay the money for the celebrities.
Yeah.
This would definitely be better as a Quibi for two reasons. One, better celebrities. Two, it wouldn't exist.
3.
Amazing. I love it. I guess let's go through. Let's get some drinking rules. We need some drinking rules for this. I
Word
think
up. What's the drinking rule for word up?
You gotta
Take
take
a
a shot every time they say a word. Get ready, everyone. You getting real drunk. You should drink during everyone's clue package. Just keep drinking until it's over.
I mean,
Yeah,
that applies to the whole show, really.
Yeah. Every time the judges guess a celebrity that would never come on this show, take a drink.
Why not just have it any guess? You take a drink.
And some of the guesses are good, like Venus Williams, decent guess. Smokey Robinson, decent guess.
Anthony Hopkins, not a decent guess.
Not a
best
good
guess.
guess.
To be fair, that one wasn't on the actual show. There were plenty of bad guesses on the actual show.
We did discuss
Ariana Grande.
schedule.
You gotta take a drink when they say Ariana Grande.
What about when you see like Brian's stupid face?
You got to do a drink every time Craig Robinson does a horrible pun, which sadly
Oh, yeah.
happened a lot and made me feel sad that Craig Robinson has sunk to this level.
He made a duck pun for the
might have to
exotic
take-
bird.
You might take a drink every time Craig Robinson makes you feel sad inside. Like that might be cool.
That's a good one. I approve.
Let's get to the worst human being, which is pretty obvious. The executive producers of the show. They deserve it. Right? And is there any other contenders?
Well, I feel like you should take it on screen person, which probably means it's Ken Jeong since he's done this just too many times, and we don't have a Jenny McCarthy type to really rail against. But
Not Craig Robinson?
wait, we thought Ken Jeong was an executive producer, so Ken Jeong is the Venn diagram answer, I think.
Okay. We'll just leave it at that. What's the show's parents? We know exactly. The Ellen DeGeneres show. They decided what the show was going to be and the format and everything. That's it. No other show. Maybe like Survivor, because that's like the OG reality show, but
American Idol for the Paula Abdul reference.
yeah, there you go. American Idol. And
What
we know
about
that-
Dancing with the Stars? Is Dancing with the Stars a precursor to the show?
No, it's Ellen. Ellen. It's all Ellen. And we know the most cringeworthy moment, which was the whole audience. Anything to do with the audience, very cringy.
Oh, yeah.
Brian, anyone else have any other cringeworthy moments they want to really go over? Guessing.
I mean, we
Paula
referenced
Abdul.
Craig Robinson's puns, which
Yeah.
I'll bring up again.
Ken Jeong did his like usual shtick of like doing this like whole story just to like give his stupid guess, and then he gives this like little thing which is just like a thumbs up, yeah, like he's got this. I couldn't. I just wanted him to get off the screen.
I'm also confused. I guess this is a side tangent, but like, we're here to watch this dance. We're here to watch them dance, but they frequently cut to the judges and hosts as they do like a yeah and dance along and like, what are you doing? What is going on? I'm here to figure out who the dancer is. Show me the dancer.
The dance is not going to tell you ever.
But that's the premise of the show.
Well, they do the same thing in The Masked Singer, but like in The Masked Singer, you can still hear the voice when you see the reaction, so it kind of works. And this is just another way of like this show doesn't work. Like they've taken pieces of a show that, for better or worse, does work, and this show doesn't work.
I think they need to steal something from the Asian television playbook, which is they'll have little like reactions from the host in the corner, sort of a picture-in-picture situation. I think that would work very well for this one exact show.
I agree.
That's a good call, Max.
All right.
How do we get Max an executive producer on the show and fix it?
So you can be included in the worst human being category. Anyway, let's go to our favorite question, ratings. So we do a stack ranking system where we have top, middle, bottom, third compared to other reality shows. Brian, why don't you start us off?
This has got to be a bottom third. I don't even know. It's bottom of the bottom. I couldn't stand this. Unlike The Masked Singer.
I'll go next. As everyone can tell, it's bottom of the bottom, garbage. See you in the bottom 5. Rob, what do you got for me?
So I don't usually do James ranking, but I gotta do it. This is bottom of the bottom. This show is just so bad. I think the interesting question, if we want to get there, is which show was worse, this show or I Can Hear Your Voice? Like, I think that's actually an interesting question.
That's the question for the finale, everyone. You'll have to come join in.
We'll save that for the finale, but I think that's an interesting question.
That is a very interesting question. Max, what do you got for us?
Bottom third, I will put it at the top of the bottom, mostly because I could entertain myself by just being constantly boggled that the show was made. It was so bad.
There is something to be said about this show over that other show you mentioned, Rob, is that while we were chatting and making fun of this show,
it's fun to make fun of.
That had some enjoyment value. That might give you a clue on where my mind is at.
Well, another clue is the Ice-T reveal was really fun. Like the fact that we talked about Ice-T as a joke and that it actually was Ice-T was like great. And like that moment was by far the highlight of the whole show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's why
Noah,
people watch.
Noah, what do you got for me?
I'm similar to Max. It's in the bottom, but top of the bottom. I actually don't think this is as bad as we are making it out to be. And the reason is like it's speedy. They don't do a lot of these like hang on, let's see what happens. Like the show moves. And because the dancing tells you nothing, the clues play a bigger part in this rather than at least what I've seen from The Masked Singer. And so I like that, like it actually just has a movement to it. So top of the bottom.
There you have it, everyone. I guess, Rob, is that saying you're not going to give us the updates every week now? We need the updates.
I mean, I said it might be out on Masked Singer going forward too. So definitely not sticking around for this one.
It's going to be a sad day.
Noah will give us the updates because Noah will check the Wikipedia every week.
That's my favorite thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure this show I just check the Wikipedia every week is just as good as The Masked Singer. Like.
All right, Rob, you have a shout out this week?
Do I have a shout out this week? I watched Soul, and that movie's pretty good. So if you have the Disney Plus, I would recommend Soul.
I watched Soul 2. I liked it as well.
There's Soul 2?
Yeah. TOO.
It's called Soul Plane.
It's called Snakes on a Plane.
Oh.
Noah, you got a shout out this week?
I'm gonna give my shout out to The Flight Attendant on HBO Max. It's unclear if it's a limited series or this is season 1. But either way, it's quite entertaining. I would watch it.
I also watched The Flight Attendant, and I completely agree with Noah's analysis that it was entertaining. It is not good prestige television. It is not Breaking Bad. It is, however, entertaining, a fun romp.
Max, you got a shout out this week?
I marathons 2 seasons of Mandalorian. Again, not amazing prestige television, but entertaining. I enjoyed it. It's probably the best Star Wars thing that has been put out since the original trilogy.
Oh, those Clone
Yeah,
Wars.
to build on that, like the Mandalorian, I feel like it's the Star Wars where I feel the most where I'm watching a true Western. Even though all Star Wars supposed to be Western space, like this one just really feels like cowboys just like going out there.
What do you mean? They remade the fourth one in the seventh one. That's not a Western? Anyway.
But yeah, something I like about it is like each episode feels sort of mostly self-contained, and then they sort of link back together in the last few episodes of the season. It's a formula. It's very formulaic. It works for me.
I think it works for a lot of people. I think you're pretty close. I would agree with you, but I think Rogue One was really good. I think that's a really good Star Wars story. But
I could talk about my problems with Rogue One all day, and I'm not going to subject that to you on a reality show podcast.
Okay. No, we're not allowed. Brian, what do you got for me? You got a shout out this week?
I'm dipping back into The Bachelorette to like finish it off. The only great moment I've had so far was like there was a moment where a male contestant was like looking for the Bachelorette and accidentally knocked on like Chris Harrison's hotel room, but then they just hung out and drank wine all night.
Oh, that's how you get on future versions of The Bachelor. You hang out with Chris Harrison. So my shout out this week, The Expanse is back. That's really good. His Dark Materials season 2 ended. I don't know what happened in season 2, but it's kind of all over the place. We'll see how season 3 ends the series. And that's it for us this week. You can find us on Twitter at WhoWithTheSon. You can find us on Facebook.com/WhoWithTheSon. You can email us questions and suggestions at WhoWithTheSon@gmail.com. We'll see you guys next time. Oh man, the shark is such a terrible costume.
No, I think it's the right costume. Just body paint and a mask. That's like getting closer to like would this show be better naked?
But the mask is like blinging. The issue is the dancing naked. Like, you know, Brian, there's good naked and there's bad naked. And some dancing is bad naked.
Most of that dance is going to be bad naked. I don't know if I want to see Ice-T naked.
For a woman, like, good, like, dancing could be good. For most of it. But then,
are we going with the Seinfeld theory of, like, the men's body's utilitarian?
Yeah. Like, I don't want to be seeing those balls, like, jangle. Like, I don't need that. I also don't need those boobs to jangle either. So, like, there's definitely, like, I don't need Miss Chokes on dick up there.
What if they actually incorporate like the helicopter into their dance routine?
Good naked. All right, what time stamp was that at? 19 minutes. That one's going in the outro for sure.